Welcome everyone to this week's ECONversations podcast for Southwest Riverside County. I'm Patrick Ellis. I'm glad to be joined with Scott Agajanian, Christine Damko, Gina Gonzales, Rob Moran, and Kimberly Davidson. We are going to talk today about small business and the importance of small businesses in each one of our communities and some of the things that we're all planning to do or have resources around. And I am going to start with the fantastic Miss Gina Gonzales, because I know in the city of Menifee, they have a very cool thing coming up in association with their Small Business Saturday, which for those of you who don't know, say Small Business Saturday is the Saturday right after Black Friday, right after Thanksgiving, showing importance of shopping local, shopping those small businesses within each one of your communities to make sure that they are getting the due that they deserve, and not all the money just going to all the big brand national chains on that Black Friday. So Gina, tell me what's going on in Menifee.
Thank you, Patrick. So the City of Menifee and our Chamber of Commerce have teamed up, and we really wanted to get the message out, especially now more than ever with COVID-19 and what's happening. I'm trying to support our local businesses, and we've released a fun game, a promotional called Bingo. Everyone loves bingo. So we just wanted to really encourage people to shop early, starting now instead of waiting. We always, collectively, we always really promote Small Business Saturday, but wanted to start for the month of November and then continue it all the way through the end of December. And we have a really cool $500 raffle basket. We have giveaways. We have gift cards throughout the week. And then we also are doing a Menifee Forward. All of this is in promotion of our Shop Local program called Menifee Forward. And so we have a really cool shopping tote that we're also giving out when the bingo cards are submitted back to the Chamber of Commerce. And it's just a fun promotional way just to encourage. That is a nice tote, Scott. Correct. You may use that bag when shopping in Menifee. But anyways, we're just really trying to raise awareness of all of our businesses. And I just wanted to point out, in Menifee, a lot of people talk about franchises and, that big business, but I always like to remind people that, franchises are also small business owners. They're your neighbors next door that have put life savings into opening a business. And some of them are, large franchises, but theirs is a small business, even though their name is a larger, corporate name, but it is a small investment. Corporate doesn't fund, any part of their business. It's all self-funded from their small business entities. So I always like to remind people, don't judge a book by its cover, if it's small or not.
Yeah, I mean, that's such an important thing. We talk about that a lot in that franchises sometimes get that kind of bad rap sometimes, that they get associated with that kind of, big brand when they're really not. And, I always encourage people to kind of reach out to, the local chambers, to, you guys as economic development directors and your offices, to find out, let people, know, what are some of the franchises, what are the ones that are independently and locally owned? Because we're all more than willing to kind of share that information, because it's extremely important. So,
and one example of that, and I know there's many that I can think of in Wildomar too, but one of the most recent ones, we're getting a new grocery outlet, as I think all of you know, and it'll be open on November 19th. But the two owners of it are twin brothers. And they are basically, their life's mission was to be able to give back to a community, and they're doing that through owning a grocery outlet. So grocery outlet is just a means to their end, but their mission is to give back to and be part of a community. So to Gina's point, it's, even though it comes with a larger name, recognizable name, you're really helping out your neighbors. They live in Wildomar, and really exciting for them. So.
And they have a great little jingle.
They have some interesting commercials, I will say. Some are better than others, but it's a really cool concept. We're very excited for them to get open.
You're right on the jingle. My daughter goes around singing that jingle all day long.
Don't start.
Yeah. Who wants to go next? What are you guys working on? What resources do you have?
We have a small business resource toolkit. It's a conglomerate of local and more regional and even state and federal grant programs, local resources. I know that the group here has access to the SBDC that we host for free for our small businesses. I know SCORE. I know that we're all teaming up with a large amount of agencies. If it's a business plan, if it's marketing needs, if it's just outreach ideas, if it is direct business assistance on actually applying for that, there's one-on-one counseling that they can set up with any one of our offices, and then we can guide them where to get that direct help. But we can go to Menifee Cares on our website, and a list of resources are available.
Yeah, and I think we've been, Kim, shall I jump in or do you want to
go
go first?
ahead, Murrieta.
I never know when. So I think we've been really fortunate to be in a valley where I think all of us have either started grant programs or worked on a kind of a regional resources list for our community and make sure that we've been shooting out that information. We've also been fortunate to have a county that puts such a robust grant program for all of us to share in. Thank you for all those businesses. Award winning. I think it was a triple award winning, if I'm not mistaken. And so the County of Riverside has been great partners with us. I think Rob is listening to the Grocery Outlet song in the headphones. I'm not sure if he caught that. Once you get it going, you can't stop. And so we also have a back to business grant program in the city of Murrieta that we're working on the second phase of right now. And we may still have funds after this round is done, and we're going to continue on giving out grants as long as we can. That coupled with the county grants, and like Gina was saying, all of the state and federal programs that have been out there has made a real tool chest that has been available to our businesses. And we didn't do I love the bingo game. I wish we'd done a bingo game, but we're lucky. We have a great Chamber of Commerce sometimes, and they really, really promote and help us push Small Business Saturday. We just recently did our proclamation for it, making it officially Small Business Saturday in Murrieta. And the one thing I think we all know is that once you start people just getting used to the idea of shopping small one day, it doesn't stop there. I mean, studies are really simple on this. Once people shop small, they continue to shop small. They continue to visit those restaurants. They can continue to visit those boutique stores. And so it's just a way to remind people to get out. So please, if you're out there and you're shopping in one of these cities, go visit a small store you haven't visited before and check them out, because you will probably end up loving it and wanting to go back again and again. This is a way that everybody can exercise their power with their dollar to keep businesses open. And right now, you really are helping a business owner stay open during this time. So please shop small all year long.
Scott, I had a point of clarification on your statement. You mentioned you have a chamber that's good some of the time?
Yeah. They are very regularly pretty decent.
Okay. I wasn't sure if I heard that right or not.
Yeah, no, they're pretty A-okay.
Okay.
I love Patrick, let me tell you.
No, we have the best Chamber of Commerce around. Everybody knows. Now I don't want to make this a competition with the other cities. Wildomar's is second.
Yeah, thanks. So speaking of that, Ron, speaking of grants, I believe that the county still has some money left in their grant program. Is that correct?
Yeah, we do. We actually pretty much got to the original 45 million. Or we'll fund that based on the application volume we had. And then thankfully our Board of Supervisors provided an influx of an additional $5 million. And so, yeah, our extended application period ends this Friday, the 13th. What an appropriate date. And so there is still time to get in the queue, particularly communities that are in the 5th Supervisorial District, Menifee, and other locations, because we sort of divided the pot into different 5 different ways, and the 5th district is one that still has quite a bit of funding. But with that influx of funding, we're able to still take care of more businesses, and that's been a really rewarding program, because it has helped. So far it's helped out 4,200 plus businesses in Riverside County that have been really hit hard, and the fact that we can help another few hundred is going to make the difference for a lot of them. And, to Scott, so encourage you to apply on another couple, related to small business and small business shopping and so forth. A resource that's really important that we're fortunate to have a good one in this region is the small business development centers. And we rely on them quite a bit at the county, and I know a lot of you do at the cities. And I would say it's kind of like it's not your father's Oldsmobile. And the SBDCs have really come a long way over the years in diversifying their programming, where, in years past, it might have been like, if you want to start a business, here's your business plan class, and here's your marketing class, and here's your funding class, and you can meet with somebody one-on-one. That was valuable. But now they've really diversified into really more niche markets or niche programming for businesses. And obviously the last several months have forced them to even diversify that further. But it's a free resource that you're just getting a lot of bang for your buck. And it's something that all of us here in economic development contribute to, and work really hard to spread the message. And it's a fantastic resources for small businesses, not just those that are starting up, but those that are small and still in business and might need a refresher here or want to grow to a next stage, and that could be helpful. But I also want to emphasize, to Scott's point, is that, there's room in this marketplace, obviously, for giants and e-commerce, the monsters that are out there that really dominate a lot of the market, and people are consuming through them for a lot of reasons. And there's nothing wrong with that. But there's a lot of really small businesses in there that have some really unique product offerings that aren't just restaurants.
Yeah.
They're boutiques, dress shops, clothing, knick-knack, I don't know what to call them, but little unique gift items and so forth. And if you go in there, like you said, you might just discover a hidden gem that's going to carry something that you might not find anywhere else. And sometimes those products are made locally by artisans or local companies, and you might just find some really cool, in fact, I guarantee you're going to find some really cool and unique items. And I would suggest to you that Southwest County is an area that's pretty rich with these types of companies that offer some really, really cool products. And you can still order from Amazon and the big giant companies to get other products, but give these small businesses a chance, because they offer some really cool things that you just might not find somewhere else. And you get a unique and fun shopping experience while you're doing it. It's just worth the time and energy.
I also like the local, to your point, Rob, even Etsy, and usually I don't guide people that way sometimes, but when people shop on Etsy, it does come back to the cities as well. So, and a lot of our local artisans, they are featured on there as well. So you can search by cities as well. So it's kind of cool.
Patrick, didn't you have a local artisan mug you were drinking from right now?
No, it wasn't a local one. No.
Oh, well,
but my daughter is on Etsy.
Okay, I was gonna say you ruined that setup, but then you saved it to the end.
Yeah.
So, speaking of cool local boutiques, Christine, what has Temecula got going on with small business right now?
I definitely echo the team's sentiments about SBDC. I feel like every business person that calls us or emails us or walks through our doors, we're recommending they reach out to SBDC. It's very, very sophisticated. They have some sophisticated people that they contract with and partner with. And I think the most common misconception that it's just one person, and it's not. This one person has access to resources and people all throughout the state. And so it's such a good, I tell people I'm a government worker, I'm a city employee, and so I'm not going to give you business advice, but that's why the city invests and partners with the SBDC, are those experts who are living it on a day-to-day basis. Here in Temecula, we're using our social media in particular. And we want to visually show people small businesses. So we've been doing this since COVID happened, and we use a professional photographer and to take pictures of our artisans and the mouth-watering, you know, dishes that we have here, and the clothing stores. And we're doing the same for Small Business Day, Shop Small Day, and we're doing just a short video. And we just really want to show people what they're missing out on. It's definitely working. I had one lady actually called me and said she had never heard of Campini's before, a small little sandwich shop in our town, and who's been around for a very long time. This little, you can say it's a hole in the wall. And she said the picture looks so delicious. She's going there tonight for dinner. So that's our goal. And right now we're working on a project that is really showing our small businesses and how really they're reimagining themselves with kind of outdoor spaces, and especially now with this weather, how they're reimagining their spaces. So we're all about pictures and visual down here in Temecula.
Very good. Yeah, the SBDC is such a huge aspect. And you know, the one thing that you said and that Rob kind of tipped on as well is, I think that the really important part is we always think of, you know, SCORE and SBDC, especially when you're starting a business. But it's even more important is after you've already started a business, you're in business for a couple of years, you know, and you're at that level of, you feel like you've plateaued and you can't move any farther. That's where I think SBDC has this huge opportunity to help businesses so much, because to get to that next level is so hard. You know, so if you get to that, especially once you get that 3-year mark, you know, you're kind of past a lot of the really the biggest hurdles. So to get that help that you need to get to that next level is so important. To have that right here in our valley, accessible and free, is just, it's huge. You know, kudos to, you know, all of you guys for supporting that and making sure that that's accessible, you know, for our businesses here in the valley.
They're having trouble expanding. We need to talk. Any of our offices, you know, there's a will, there's a way, and there's a path forward. You know, they're not being available space in your individual city. One of our great neighbors here has some space, and we'll find a home here in Southwest Riverside County to keep those jobs local. So.
Yep.
Yeah, and somebody who works really hand in hand with SCORE, I think, is Kimberly Davidson, who probably knows the program as well as anyone. And it really is great that we have SBDC representation in our valley. We have SBA, you know, across the board with SCORE. And so we've got some really great mentors out there. And Kim, maybe you want to talk a little bit about SCORE and the work that you guys do, especially with the roundtable, and the hopes that we can really grow that into something huge.
Sure. We started the roundtable. Thank you, Scott. We started the roundtable with SCORE 10 years ago, and it's pretty much been going every once a month on the third Wednesday of the month. I can't even think right now. It's just COVID brain. I can't remember what day it is. I don't even know what year it is. But anyways, once a month, we've been doing the Small Business Roundtable for about 10 years now. And it's a really great concept because it's really meant to be businesses helping businesses with experts guiding the conversation, because we don't want it to be the blind leading the blind. But what's really fun about, what I really love about our Small Business Roundtable is sometimes you might go to a workshop, a business owner might go to a workshop, and a concept or something is being taught, and they can't really figure out maybe how to internalize that and make it their own for their own business. And this really gives them the opportunity to ask the questions and have another business owner step up and say, well, here's how we did it in our business. And it just really it's more hands-on, I think. And the whole goal is to not allow business owners business is business, really. And the business challenges that business owners face are really the same across the board. It doesn't matter if you're a manufacturer, a donut shop, dog groomer, it really doesn't matter. They all face similar challenges that are business, just regular business challenges, no matter what you're selling or what your service is. So it really prevents that business owner from making the same mistake that maybe 5 other business owners in the room have already made, and they can all help each other to not reinvent the wheel over and over. So it's really a fun roundtable, I think.
And if you're a donut shop, I want to meet with you first. And I also find it interesting that, speaking of the vision impaired, the 3 of us on top all have glasses here, and the 3 on bottom do not. So obviously we had to be a little bit closer to the screen to be able to see it.
I just want to let you know that I officially get glasses. Thank you, Scott. I'm just waiting for them to come in.
Yeah. Welcome to the club.
Sooner or later, this whole panel will be all full of reading glasses.
Yeah.
But yeah, one of the points that I really like to make is if you're a business owner and you're watching this, or you're someone in business, or you're thinking about starting a business, do not worry about which resource you think that you need from us. All you need to do is contact us with the question you have. We will know who to connect you to. So don't worry about the question. Don't worry about who should I call. Like, if you call me on accident and you meant to call Scott, I'll send you over to Scott, and we do that all the time. People don't really know where Wildomar begins and Murrieta ends, and that's okay, because you can see on this panel here, we're all friends. We toss things back and forth, and really, you just have to know what question you have and just ask one of us, and we'll get you to the right person to help you answer that question. So I think that's probably the most important part of our job. People have asked me before, why don't you list all of your resources and I literally have about 45 Tupperwares filled with business cards. And I'm like, because these are all of my resources. You really have to let us know what your question is, and then we'll connect you to the resource. But I think all of us probably have bins and bins and bins of contacts and business cards, and we'll get you to the right place. But sometimes it's not as simple as just putting up we can put up the list on the website, but there's a lot more resources behind it than that. So just know what your question is and know what you need help with, and we'll get you to the right spot.
Kim, to your point, and sometimes your connection or our connections to that particular resource goes a lot further than if they contacted them themselves.
Right.
Just realize that, having a direct connection to somebody in that agency, it goes a lot further sometimes on, trying to communicate what you're looking for.
Right. And you know what? It's free. Yeah. Like, we'll just do this for you. Your tax dollars for your city government that you're with, or the county, wherever you're at, you're already paying for it. So use the service. We love I think the thing that bothers me the most is when I find out a business has been struggling and they didn't bother to let us know. And then they might say, and sometimes it's even someone that I've known for years, and they'll say, I didn't want to bother you with it. And I'm like, well, I'm bothered now because I didn't know about it. So please reach out to one of us and let us know if you have any kind of business question at all. We're more than happy to help you out with that.
Very good. So one thing I wanted to kind of bring up, going back to Small Business Saturday, is, changing habits is really, really hard, right? People are used to going to, whether it's Target or Walmart or wherever their normal, big box store is, or, Bed Bath Beyond, whatever it is. And to change that habit is really, really difficult. And that's why it's really hard for a lot of us to.
Changing habits is easy.
Good point. Very good point, Scott. So to do something new is not as hard. To change a habit is very hard. And I think that's where it really becomes hard sometimes to engage people to really focus in on shopping local. And I think that it's one of those goals with the Save Small or Small Business Saturday is to try and help people to start changing some of those habits, right? It's doing one or two little things new, whether it's changing just, I always say is it's really easy if you just start with one thing really small, right? If you're used to getting gas next to where you work in San Diego, change that one thing. Make sure if you want to do something that's going to impact your community the most, make sure you fill up your gas tank in the city you live in, because that's going to have the biggest impact, because there's the sales tax, there's gas tax, there's everything involved with that. So make that little change first, then start working on the next one. But don't expect, don't try to change all of your shopping habits, but, work with ones. And that's where the Small Business Saturday is it gives you an opportunity to find these new resources, these new treasures that are right here within our communities, and change some of those little habits. It may be, it may cost you $1 more to get something at this one local one, but that dollar is going to spend 7 to 10 times more in this community before it leaves the community, unless you go to Trader Joe's or Target.
What I've really appreciated about kind of this drive to online shopping is it's really allowed our mom and pop stores in this valley, especially. I don't shop much outside of this valley because I'm always here, but we really have some incredible, unique gifts here. Just some really cool products that you really can't find online, or you wouldn't want to necessarily purchase them online because they're very unique and you kind of want to touch and feel them before you purchase. But we have, I know, from Temecula to Murrieta to Wildomar, and in Menifee too, we have some really cool stores that offer artisan type crafts and just local art that is for sale. It's very, very cool. We have some incredibly cool stuff around here. Very talented. And
I think I know it's often stated when we have these discussions, but it's important too that when you're buying from that local mom and pop shop, let's not forget, because I think we mentioned it, that owner is going to go out and buy a house. They're going to buy a car. They're going to go to the local grocery store. They're going to go to the local hardware store. Or they're going to shop at other mom and pop shops, and that just recirculates the money in the economy. And the more you can do to keep that local, there's the multiplier effect. There's a real estate agent that's going to make some money that lives locally. There's again, the mortgage person, there's the furniture store, there's the car person. And so, that money isn't just about supporting that small business alone. It's the economic impact that reverberates throughout the economy. Did you hear that, Scott? I use the word reverberate. It's a big word.
Well, I appreciate two things. I appreciate that, and thank you for buying those headphones from Scott's Electronics. We're in open 7 days a week, and we appreciate your service.
It's my pleasure. So, I think that's the other part, is that you're, and you do that also when you go to bigger stores, because there's employees that work there. But when you keep all that money in your local economy, it all recirculates there. Theoretically, it's not 100% perfect, but that's important to note. You're not just supporting those two people that you're walking in to their shop. It's others that are benefiting from the money they're recirculating back into the economy.
The gift that keeps on giving.
Amen.
You said the multiplier
Yes, it is, Clark.
effect.
And one other piece, this doesn't just go to residents, this goes to business owners. Make sure that you're working with other business owners in the community. When you're shopping, shop from your local businesses. Make sure you're ordering your print from your local businesses. Make sure you're ordering your design from your local businesses. Do any of your B2B shopping local. It's the same message that applies from residents up to business. And that's really why chambers exist, right, Patrick Ellis? That is the point, is to keep your dollars in your local communities.
Well, I was going to say, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was just going to say, I love how much collaboration we have here. Not, obviously you can see the collaboration between the cities and the county just with this, Zoom call, but our businesses, they barter back and forth, and they partner and they help each other out. Scone shops helping coffee shops, and coffee shops helping other coffee shops. And we have, bars and restaurants helping other bars and restaurants that are right down the street. It's really kind of unbelievable, the collaboration that we have in this region, that even, I've said to someone recently, we don't have any competitors in this valley. We're all friends and we all collaborate. And you've really seen that even from people that maybe historically would have been competitors, like similar type of sports bars. Will help each other. They help each other get open, and they help each other stay open, and they all kind of band together when someone's having a difficult time. It's really pretty incredible, I think.
It is a tough. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was going to say, now I promise everybody who's watching this, all 10 of you, that Patrick Ellis did not pay me to say this. I guarantee it. But if you're a small business, again, whether you're starting out or you've been around for a while, you have to join your local chambers of commerce or other business organizations that will help you. It is by far the cheapest form of advertising you're going to ever pay for, and you're immediately, and I mean immediately, linked into a network of city leaders, county leaders, other business leaders, and other small businesses like yourself to do the very things that Kim's talking about. And there's a part of it that has probably increased, more so for chambers than before, and that's this component of legislative advocacy, that you need somebody in your corner. It's not just somebody who's going to help you advertise and promote your business, but it's somebody who's kind of looking out for businesses in general. And that folks like Patrick and some of the other big chambers in the region are going to Sacramento and Washington, D.C. And that's an increasingly, important part of their activities, whether they plan that or not. It just is, you got to have somebody in your corner who can advocate for you. But if you're not a member of a chamber, I think that's a really critical mistake. And I get it, they're not all created equal, but in Southwest, you've got an entire slew of really active, well-funded, sophisticated chambers of commerce that you just have to be a member. I mean, you're going to get a lot of bang for your buck, and it's like anything else, you get out of it what you put into it. And chambers are always looking for volunteers to do things. And, I've seen a lot of real small businesses that have grown because they get out there and they hustle. And so that's my plug. You're welcome, Patrick.
Thank you.
No, it's good. And I'm just glad to know that chambers travel in sloughs, because I wasn't sure, geese or gaggles and how do chambers travel, but it's good to know they're in sloughs.
It's actually sleds.
It's much quicker than a freeway or a side road. They go through a slough with a little bit of water. Yeah, it's pretty cool stuff.
Very good.
And it reverberates. Yeah.
I wanted to also just touch base on what Rob was talking about, just the life cycle of small businesses. But I was also going to encourage, for those that have families, especially now since a lot of folks are doing the school at home, the remote learning.
Yeah, distance learning.
See, I'm already brain dead from doing it myself. But I was going to encourage families to take this opportunity, especially now being Small Business Month or even Small Business Saturday, and teach your kids the economics of the benefits of shopping local and the life cycle of the dollar, and how it ended up coming back 3 times as fold and providing services. So it's a great opportunity.
Yeah, actually, that's a great point. And I said earlier that, my daughter's on Etsy. That was part of the reason, right? Is that she's an artist. She was drawing stuff. She wanted to try and sell some stuff. And I said, well, let's go on there. And we had to go through this process of learning how to invoice someone and how to make sure you follow up with people and you check your emails and all these different things. They think it's just all you got to do is throw it up on a site and that's it. And so you're right. I think that is a great opportunity at these times, and just to kind of close out the small business, Saturday part or month. I'm fine with celebrating a month on small businesses. Trust me. But the ones that we kind of sometimes forget about, are the home-based businesses, and especially those that are, to the point of the crafty ones and the unique ones, those that are here locally that you see at, we've got, a handful of good farmers markets here locally. We've got some craft fairs that take place on a regular basis. A lot of those are individuals that are right here within our community. And those are the ones that if we support those might grow into one of those brick and mortar businesses. So those are very important to kind of keep an eye on as well.
Yeah. And hey, I'll just give you a little bit of anecdotal information from, having the grant program. We have more sole proprietorships in this county than you can imagine. it's amazing. As soon as we changed the criteria from having at least one employee aside from the owners to just, you can be a sole prop, that just opened up the floodgates of applications. And there's a ton of them throughout Riverside County. A lot of folks that's how they make their living. And so it's a very important part of our economy.
They are, and they're probably the most vulnerable right now. I think the smaller you are today, the more at risk that you are. And I think just to put a button on the whole Small Business Saturday concept, this year more than any other year, it is probably the most crucial that you go out and support your local small businesses. It's always a big deal. It's always good to go shop small and make that kind of ceremonial day. But the really important thing is right now you're keeping people's livelihood and your community's livelihood together just by doing those little bits that you can do. So go and shop small. Buy the headphones like Rob did, buy the mugs like Patrick did, get those donuts, do all the little things that you can to support your local small businesses.
And Scott, something I had put on my Facebook page at the beginning of all of this COVID shutdown was now more than ever, $1 spent in your community is a vote for what kind of businesses you want to see here. So if you want to see more of the national chains, then spend more of your money there. If you want to see more of the mom and pops, or you like the eclectic restaurants, the wine bar restaurants, then you better be spending your money there. But right now your dollar counts more than ever as a vote for how you want to see your community continue and thrive. So spend your dollars wisely, and hopefully you choose to spend them small and local.
Yeah,
Completely
very
true.
good. Well, I couldn't think of a better way to kind of end that is to make sure that we all get out there and spend our money locally, spend it with those small businesses, those mom and pops, those franchises, that sometimes aren't able to pivot as well as some of those smaller independents as well. So I want to thank you guys all again for joining me this week. If you guys have questions, if you have interests in things that you would like to see us cover in the future, let us know. We'll put our information at the end of this video for y'all, but thanks for joining us again for this week's Southwest Riverside County Economic Development ECONversations podcast.